Post, pay, repeat. Social media isn't just for socializing anymore.
A day in the life of family influencers is just like yours. We just have cameras.
This is your job. This supports your family.
Yes. I have concern about parents using children as actors.
32 million men watching 5,000 children online.
I've never had an instance where we've encountered any comments from men.
I'm hearing the wheels turn in your head like, oh my God. Well, post, pay, repeat. Social media isn't just for socializing anymore, it's a lucrative business, and the demand for daily content has fueled the family vlogging trend. One study found that videos featuring young children get 3 times as much traction. So family vloggers are cashing in, but also coming under fire. Now, Ruby Franke of the popular Channel 8 Passengers was just sentenced to up to 30 years in prison after being accused of torturing 2 of her children. She often shared footage of harsh punishments, and she's one of the most egregious examples. Now, Seth and Christy are young parents with 2 million followers on TikTok. They post about daily life with their 2 little children and have their share of haters, but say their kids love the camera. Take a look.
Today we're letting Noelle choose everything we do.
A day in the life of family influencers is just like yours. We just have cameras.
We do everything as normal. We just film while we're going about our day. Our kids definitely enjoy being on camera because we can tell how excited they get when we're filming and when they're watching back the videos that we've made.
This is tiny and cute.
Especially our daughter.
People ask us all the time how we shield our kids from negative comments, but they can't read, so we don't have to shield them from anything.
Go to ice skating.
Ice skating?
Let's go.
Okay.
Our response when people tell us that we shouldn't post our children on social media is that it's our personal choice to post our kids, just like it's everyone else's personal choice whether they want to post their children or not.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people ask us if our kids benefit financially from us posting online, and the answer is yes. Our daughter has already shown interest in starting her own channel, so it's definitely something we want to start helping her with.
Come with us to get our 4-year-old a Tesla.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos where we're buying our son and daughter extravagant things like designer bags or a Tesla, and I'm sure you're wondering why we do this as a family.
Let's talk about why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas.
We've made the decision to invest in high-quality items for our kids.
What better age than 4 to start your skincare and makeup collection? Today I took Noelle to Sephora and told her she could get whatever she wanted. Our 1-year-old baby Beans is officially a walker, so to celebrate we decided to take him to the store and give him free range of the store and let him get whatever he wants.
Get ready with me to buy our son a Rolex. Our son is finally 1, so it is time to get him a Rolex.
If you had the money, you'd do it too.
Okay, so this is fun for y'all, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you say the children are having fun.
Yeah, they love it.
Okay, how do you know they love it?
Well, our 4-year-old, she's almost 5 now. She expresses to us that she loves filming with us. She'll say, we should make a vlog. She'll watch them back. She'll ask to watch back, our long-form YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so she loves it. Our son, he's only 1.5, so I guess he can't really tell us he likes it, but I'm sure he'll feel the same as our daughter.
Yeah. And what do you do with them that's not on camera?
The thing that we love about it is we're with our kids all the time because we do social media. So neither of us go to a regular job. So we're with our kids all day long. So when we're not filming, we're Noelle has a dirt bike. We go to the park. We play with them literally all day long.
Do you guys post every day?
Not every day. No, we'll film certain things. We'll plan out content, and then we'll film that. But other days, like time with our kids, is kind of more private unless we kind of plan to do that. But then when we plan to do that, it's still fun. It's still an average day.
And you say this doesn't take away from parenting and quality time. So you still have just nuclear family time, right?
Yeah, I'd say we have more than the average person does. Most families, the parents have to go to work. Maybe only the mom can stay home. We both stay home with our kids all day. We don't have a nanny. They don't go to daycare. So we're thankful for that.
So this is your job. This supports your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 million followers?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who makes up the followers?
I'd say we have mostly women, like not a lot of men watch our videos, and a lot of like younger, like when we're out in public, it's usually like younger, like teens, like Gen Z audience, I guess you could say, and a lot of moms.
Are you concerned that there are men that get on these channels and watch?
I would say, yeah. I mean, safety is one of the things that we take most seriously with our kids. Like as a parent, safety, we care about our kids more than anything. So obviously it's crossed my mind, but I've never had an instance where like we've encountered like any comments from men or anything. Like I've seen some videos where there are weird videos that people are commenting on and taking the wrong way, but I don't feel like we post that type of content where we get taken out of context.
We like keep their privacy in mind and don't post a lot of like overshare or anything private, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there are some studies about this with regard to children. And according to the New York Times, who did an investigation on this, there are 32 million connections to male followers among 5,000 accounts for child influencers. So there's 5,000 accounts of child influencers and 32 million connections to males for those 5,000 child influencers. What do you think about that?
I guess it's
32 million
crazy.
For 5,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
Because there are internet dangers. I mean, we have to consider that. 80% of child sex crimes start online. And it's estimated that there are 500,000 predators active every day on the internet.
So we take safety like high top concern. We don't post the same day of where we were. We try not to have any similar patterns of where we go, what we do.
And I guess there's predators in everyday life. Like if you're sending your kids to school, like you don't know who they're around at daycare or at school or even like at the mall, you could be walking past the predator. So I guess like everything in life could be dangerous. You just have to make sure you're aware of what's going on and take the precautions to protect
Yeah, you know, it's my job to read people.
Oh, great.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too.
Yeah. No, it's my job to read people. That's what I do for a living. I've done it for 45 plus years. I'm trained in it. And a little bit of what I'm saying, you're hearing for the first time. And I'm just curious how it's affecting you, because I'm telling you some of this, like 32 million men watching 5,000 children online. And I'm hearing the wheels turn in your head like, oh my God. And you're saying, well, there are predators everywhere. That's true. There are predators everywhere, but 80% of sex crimes start online. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying awareness is key. Mm-hmm. You really want to be aware, right? Situational awareness is critical with your children. It's critical whether you're taking them to the beach or you're putting them online or whatever. We just need to be cognizant of these things, right? Mm-hmm. Because there are creeps out there that will look at that and in a perverse way, and nobody did anything wrong. There's nothing inappropriate about it, but there are creeps out there, and I mean, you just need to think about it and be aware of it. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying you need to be aware, and sometimes, even if kids first day of school, and they show them walking up to the school and they show the school sign. Now somebody identifies where they go to school, and if they get obsessed with that child, they now know where they go to school. Now it can go virtual to real world. And it's a sad fact that we have to be aware of that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But that's the world we live in. All right, coming up, why one mother removed any trace of her children on social media. The scary revelation that sent her into a panic. We'll add that to the conversation when we come back. Meredith found herself becoming an influencer after posting her children during the pandemic. She said she was happy with her growing popularity until one post sent her into a panic.
I never intended to be a content creator. I started making videos for my family and friends, and one of them blew up. And I went from just making videos for people I knew to having about 30,000 followers overnight. And over the next year, that progressed to about 100,000 followers on TikTok. About a year after I started posting on TikTok, my family and I went out to dinner, and I posted a couple Instagram stories of us. The next day, the manager of the restaurant reached out to me. She said, somebody tagged the restaurant with a bunch of photos and videos of you and the kids, and obviously I know it's not you, so I clicked on a page, and it was a page with thousands of followers covered in images of my kids. And whoever was running the page had made new identities for the kids and whole lives around them, given them new names, and had posted months and months of my day-to-day life, pretending to be me and my children. And it scared the daylights out of me. We deleted every trace of the kids from the internet and promised to never post them again. Can't trust the internet with anything, and especially not anything you care about. And I know now some people call it role-playing, other people call it digital kidnapping. It's just really important to evaluate why we're doing it and to take steps to keep our kids safe, because you just never know who's on the other side of the screen.
Meredith says she didn't intend on being a public figure at all. That wasn't your intent, but all of a sudden, this started gaining momentum, right?
Yep.
And that surprised you.
Well, I think nothing prepares you for virality or where the internet takes you. So yeah, I just posted videos for my family and friends, and then all of a sudden had 100,000 followers, and people wanted more.
When they wanted more, you thought, what? Give them what they want? What was your thinking?
Well, my content for the most part was just me talking to the camera in my car. And so I wasn't ever a family vlogging channel. It was just me sort of expressing standard mother stresses in a yelly format in my car. I don't know if they showed you the videos on full volume, but they're a little loud.
Yeah, no, I saw them. I turned it down. And you said a stranger created a full profile of a family with just new identities, right?
Yep.
Take me through the moment that this sunk in with what had been done. I mean, take me through the moment that hit you. What had happened?
I was just posting, their school photos or their preschool graduation in the same way, you log onto your Facebook page and you see your friends and family photos. And I think a lot of people use social media as like a photo book.
Sure.
And I wasn't prepared. People steal my videos all the time, but I wasn't prepared for them taking pictures of my kids. And I don't consider myself like a psychotic mama bear by any means, but I panicked because I started thinking about my kids' photos on someone's phone or my kids' photos somewhere that I didn't know. Because, I don't think they're not tagging me to tell me that they took the photos. They're not saying, hey, thanks for letting me steal this photo. And had it not been sent to me, I wouldn't have ever known. It was terrifying. And I felt like the world's worst mother in that moment.
How were you violated in that moment?
I think it's just scary that I don't know. You have no idea. And I'm thankful that that page was likely run by a teenager or a young person just pretending to be a mom. But I don't know.
Were you concerned that this could jump from the virtual world to the real world?
I've definitely had instances where social media has trickled into my real life. And we've had to take precautions over the years, having a large platform in like the public figure sense to take care of ourselves and our family. And I definitely was very concerned about where it could go.
Just a quick poll in the audience. If someone did this with your children, took their photos, created identities, and started role-playing or pretending they were their own children, would that bother you? Raise your hand. So it'd bother everybody. Because I've dealt with stories about this that have gone so far as to create an entire world, an entire life, and she denied it, sitting across from the actual parents. And the way we actually got her to finally confess is she was selling a lamp on Amazon. And when we found the ad for the lamp on Amazon, this woman's children's picture were on her nightstand where she took a picture of the lamp to post it for sale, and we could see the picture of the children on her nightstand, like they were her children. The whole room, the whole house was full of, and when you get someone going that far, you don't know that the next step isn't to actually grab the children because the line between reality and fantasy gets blurred. Does that concern y'all that there are those kind of people out there?
Yeah, I agree. It reminds me of one time we were actually like at the mall and we were in like one of those play areas with our kids. Kids are just playing, we're having a great time, and we see this guy and he has his little girl taking pictures of our kids. And immediately when we saw that, like Seth went up to him, took the phone, deleted the pictures. Like if we see something like that happening, we contacted the police because that's creepy and weird. Like if we were to see something like that, we would definitely like take action, but we've never had anything like that happen.
They don't have to go to the mall. They can just do screen grabs of your children without you seeing it.
I guess I don't know what to say to that. I guess they could, yeah.
I guess maybe it felt more personal because he was like close, like he was
yeah, we were
next to
actively
us,
seeing
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all these people don't live in Thailand that are doing the screen grabs. They could
Right.
be 2 blocks away. And coming up, YouTube shut down their family vlog after this mother and stepdad pled guilty to child neglect. Now, the oldest son from controversial DaddyOFive is going to talk to us next.
The parents who utilize their children as content, think family vloggers and influencer parents, and justify it by saying, our kids, our toddlers, our babies, they love making videos. They love seeing themselves on film. That is very different than utilizing their human existence as content, profiting off of their life, and posting these videos for public consumption online. It's all gone too far.
Tonight, we're talking about parents who share their children on social media. And listen, it's terrible that we have to have this conversation, but you just need to be aware of the risk and the dangers when you do that, even if your account is set to private. My next guest, Jake, grew up in front of cameras as part of the infamous YouTube family DaddyOFive. Now, Jake's family was getting more than 176 million views, but was ripped apart in the media and real life after viewers raised concerns about their vlogs, leading some to dub his mom and stepdad the worst parents on YouTube.
Stop it!
Daddy, stop being a bully!
My name is Jake Martin, and I was the oldest kid from the DaddyOFive YouTube channel. The type of content that we started making was originally just family videos, and then as the channel progressed, we started getting into more pranks. We posted videos every single day for 9 months.
You walked off! It was you!
It's always a dream to be famous and be popular online, but when it really happens, it's just hard to adapt to. A YouTuber with 4 million plus subscribers had made a video. So they took all the craziest clips of everything that would seem bad and put them all into one 20-minute video. Cody and Emma's biological mother showed it to someone and got an emergency custody order. And then they were removed at their school.
Police came and they took Emma and Cody. Where are they taking them? To Rose. They can't do that. They're doing it.
It was very traumatizing. People were showing up to my house. They were making death threats. It was a very terrifying experience.
Stupid prank!
Yeah.
I ought to break your camera right now!
Jake, thanks for being here.
Of course.
Now, you say that outrage grew over these videos, but that these videos were skits, right?
Yes, sir. A lot of them were improvised, but the majority of them were scripted, yes.
Yeah. But it looks like a lot of the emotions that came out were pretty genuine.
I think some of the emotions could have been getting so far into improvising the videos, honestly, because it's happened to me. And when you're filming a 40-minute to hour-long video and it's a bunch of siblings, I definitely things would get hectic sometimes.
The little brother, he got focused on a lot. And so people did identify this particular sibling as kind of a troublemaker or annoyer, and he got a lot of hate, right?
Right.
And here are some examples of the so-called pranks at Jake's house.
Hit ball!
Hey! 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 And you're grounded for a damn month.
And you're not getting on anything at Disney.
Good morning.
Stop!
Oh my.
Who's that? Jake, get off of him.
Stop getting in showers and stuff I didn't do.
Stop! What's wrong, boy?
I don't care.
I've had it! Hey, Ryan, you got some egg on your face.
I'm going to kill you.
Now, Jake says you can't always believe what you see, and here's an example of his stepdad telling the youngest son to do some acting.
Here, have the broken skateboard like this. Right there. Okay, and you're gonna be laying on the ground. Cody, look, you're gonna be laying on the ground crying like you hurt your leg, okay? Hey, you gotta use some acting skills, all right? Just be crying and all that you broke your leg. As soon as you see her come out that door, you start crying that you hurt your leg, okay?
I might need to wet my face because it's hard for me to cry.
No, don't worry about all that. Just be down on the ground and crying, okay?
This wound up with somebody putting a lot of these things together. It got to Child Protective Services, and they came and took 2 of your step siblings out of the home.
Correct.
And the whole thing came unraveled.
Correct.
Okay. You think it was unfair?
I think that a lot of it was misunderstood. I don't necessarily think the removing of them was fair, just because it was done through a third-party way that I wouldn't like to speak on, that wasn't directly them saying, hey, because of your videos, we're going to remove them. It was through a different way, and the media made it seem like they were removed because of our videos, but they actually weren't. So I don't think that it was fair, no.
And the site came down?
Yes, DaddyOFive did get terminated.
Okay. You have a site now?
Yes.
And what kind of content are you doing?
I am a musician now. I do that kind of stuff, and I do everyday life, just everyday what I do, who I am, just more personality. I kind of weaned off the pranks and stuff like that just because it is a lesson that I had to learn just growing up through it. Mm-hmm. So
what was the lesson?
My lesson was that you just can't put yourself out there and portray an image, because a lot of people will base you off that image that you put on the internet your whole entire life. Like it follows me to this day, you know, and when people have a misunderstanding of me when they meet me, because they're like, oh, I thought you were that guy on the internet, that crazy guy that was doing these pranks, and it's not who I am. So I don't want to portray myself as that anymore. I want to move on from it.
Yeah. And you see Seth and Christy doing this with their children. Mm-hmm. Are you concerned that their children will get typecast or?
I don't think so, because from what I saw on the screen, their content looks innocent. I definitely think that there's always a risk. There's always a risk in it. Just any words of advice to them is to just always take caution and always be careful what they put on the internet.
Yeah, because it can
spiral down fast.
Yeah. Jake says even after controversy, family tried to relaunch the channel.
Yeah.
It didn't relaunch?
The Martin family is kind of the relaunch, but it's not the content it was before. It's just it's just everybody's day to day. We don't do any exciting, we don't really script things or nothing.
And see, that's the problem of what gets attention on the internet. Mm-hmm. It's just like the news. You know, I always say about the news, if it bleeds, it leads. People want to see the crash, and they're not going to watch the news if it's, today at 3rd and L, nothing happened. Nobody tunes into that. I would never do a reality show about my life, because it's like, come to work, go home, play tennis, fall asleep in my chair. Robin wakes me up, feeds me. I go back, fall asleep in my chair. I get up, do it again. Somebody comes over, we talk a little while, they go home. I mean, who's going to watch that? It's like watching paint dry. So you got to watch something. Right. People want more and more, and so it gets more extreme, right?
Right.
And that's the self-fulfilling prophecy. It gets worse and worse. There are long-term impacts of publicity from posting your children. I mean, there's just no question about that. We're going to talk about what those are when we get back.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
I didn't do that!
Tell me what you did!
I swear to God, I didn't do that!
Jody! Go over your carpet!
I didn't do that! I don't have anything to color when you...
Why did you do that?
Leah Plunkett is the author of Sharenthood and a Harvard law professor. Now, she says posting children too early is an invasion of privacy, and in extreme cases can lead to irreversible harm. Take a look.
Sharenting is a way for families to produce global digital entertainment with very, very few gatekeepers. A prime example of sharenting gone wrong is the DaddyOFive YouTube channel, such that viewers started calling in to the local child protective services. I think the long-term effects of sharenting, where you have parents setting up kids and teens to be humiliated, feel betrayed, can be lifelong and devastating. Illinois recently passed a law that protects the earnings of child influencers to ultimately go back to the child. We need to think about sharenting as a new stage on which child actors are appearing.
Well, Leah, thanks for being here. You say parents are robbing children of privacy and identity when they put them out there too early. So you have a problem with what these parents are doing.
I have concerns about parents using children as actors on a global digital entertainment stage, very often without compensation to the children or appropriate safeguards in place for privacy or working conditions. I don't have a problem with parents trying to do their best for their kids and their families, and I completely respect that that looks different in different households, but I do have a big problem with the global sharenting entertainment industry as a whole.
And I have a problem with getting the government involved. We got the government in too many houses, too many bedrooms, too many roles. That bothers me about it. But the goal of what you're talking about in terms of protecting children, protecting them having to become characters, them having to work God knows how long to create videos, doing it when they don't want to do it, all of those things are clearly issues. I understand that. I just don't know. I mean, we have Coogan laws, right? We have to have teachers on site and things like that for child actors and that sort of thing. But are you saying that there needs to be more laws, new laws, different regulations? What are you advocating?
I'm advocating for ethical, practical labor law reform to recognize kid influencers as child entertainers once we get to a certain threshold. I'm not advocating that we are sending teachers or other professionals on site into family homes. We have a child abuse and neglect, a child welfare system that is separate from child labor law that can be activated appropriately when necessary. But I do think that we need to recognize that we are well past the point where sharenting is just mom, dad, or other caregiver thinking a kiddo's cute and wanting to share it with a few folks, maybe a few hundred folks. This is a billion-dollar global digital entertainment industry that needs ethical, practical labor law reform, similar to Coogan laws.
Yeah, now when the Coogan laws were implemented, this area didn't even exist.
That's correct.
So it didn't take that into account. And oftentimes when we enter into contracts, or at least when I do, if I'm licensing something, I'll say this is for television, radio, et cetera, and all other mediums known and unknown, because I'm figuring by the time this gets played out, they're going to come up with something I haven't even thought about, but that's not what happened with these laws.
That's not what is happening with these laws. At this point in time, only one state, Illinois, has signed a new law into effect that does ethical, practical labor law reform for child influencers. Prior laws that related to child entertainers that are on the books in many but not all states do not cover the sharenting industry.
And how is this going to be enforced?
The way that the Illinois law would work, it is requiring not any sort of privacy rights or any sort of workplace conditions. It is about requiring, they're calling them vloggers or vlogging families in Illinois. It is about requiring an accounting and a distribution of a certain percentage of gross earnings for content that really is anchored in the child performer into a trust account to be distributed to the minor upon obtaining the age of majority. The minor could bring a civil lawsuit against parents for knowingly or recklessly violating these trust requirements. But this is not government overreach. This is practical, ethical accounting for a family business that is making a significant profit.
Yeah, so in order for it to hit the radar, somebody has to run up a flag, and say they got to like sue their parents or something, or it's not going to hit the radar.
That's what it looks like right now, but I should say the Illinois law has not gone into effect yet. And so we are all going to be watching and learning together to see how it evolves over time. But that's correct. We're not talking about some sort of widespread government surveillance of the family business of vlogging. We're talking about ethical, practical accounting and trusts and financial distributions to child entertainers who appear on a home stage.
Yeah, got it. Coming up, we're going to talk about just the simple question regarding your children, to post or not post. And is there a middle ground here?
Parasocial relationships happening on these apps are completely wild. But especially when it comes to strangers in their relationship to children.
You put your legs in the cup holders, and now what?
Strangers are invested in the lives of children they have no relationship to. A stranger requesting a toddler be styled in a particular style of outfit, and then the parent creates a whole video where they are dressing this toddler in the way the stranger has requested.
Can you get out? No.
Well, tonight the question is, should you monetize your children online and post as much as you can? You would say...
Hard no.
just not just no, but hell no,
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 gray
no,
area.
no, 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 no,
Hard
no, no, no. And you say if you're going to do it, you need to do it with some guidelines in mind. Protect the children, protect the money for the children, and protect their environment in which they're working.
I would say that if you are setting up a sharenting business, you should set it up the way you would any other family business or any other small business. Ethical, practical guidelines involve trusted professionals in all the domains that can help you do it the right way. And also, I think that we should be mindful that with new and emerging generative AI tools, you were talking earlier about new forms of technology, that we are about to be in for a whole lot more danger. And so folks should be thinking about that when they decide, is this the family business that I want for my family?
Yeah. And I think people, you guys have 2 million followers, but people don't realize before you can even monetize something on these different platforms, you've got to have like 10,000 hours of content views. You've got to have so many followers. There are certain criteria you have to reach before you can even monetize, before you can even make 1 penny. There's a certain threshold you've got to hit. So it's not like, I'm just going to start doing this and start making money tomorrow. No, it's not like you make a little bit, then you make more. You got to at least hit a threshold, which is hard to get to. And the thing that worries me is people start doing radical things to try to jump those numbers up to get there. And that bothers me, particularly if it involves children. And you heard me quote some statistics earlier. And the average parent shares at least 1,500 photos by the time a child is 5 years old. And you got to think about that because, as I said, there are a lot of predators out there. And as you mentioned, Leah, with AI, if they have an image of your child, they can have that child doing anything. And then people see it and they don't realize that's not your child. Leah says even exchanging text and email information about kids is sharenting, right?
It is sharenting. It is a much less risky form of sharenting than a global distribution on a major social media platform. But in my book, literally and metaphorically, anytime a parent is sharing private information digitally about a child, that is sharenting.
And it's out there, and you have to wonder how safe it is and what safeguards you have in place. We'll be right back. Well, I hope this has made you think. And if you don't think that pictures that you're putting out there can and will get hijacked, you need to think again. Like Leah says, even if you're doing this privately, they're not that hard to get to. And you just need to be cognizant of the fact that those pictures can be misused. And even the ones that you're putting up, like I said, you got 32 million men looking at 5,000 accounts with children's pictures in them, which is kind of creepy. So you need to really think about how you're presenting your children when you put them out there. And you shouldn't have to do that, but that's the world we live in. All of you just need to think about that. So when we put something out there and we don't know who's looking at it, how they're using it, or what they're going to do with it, we just have to do our own safeguards and be careful what we're doing. And the thing that gets me thinking is you're posting this for people to look at that you don't know from Adam. What do you care whether they see it? Those are for you. They're for you and your family, not for somebody in Florida or Oregon or something. You don't know them. But somehow or another, we get this dopamine high from clicks and likes and hearts and people saying, how cute they are. You already know that. You don't need some stranger telling you how cute your child is. And you need to be concerned of them thinking they're too cute. That's what I'm saying. Just be aware. We're out of time. I want to thank all of my guests tonight. A special thanks to Leah Plunkett, author of Sharenthood. It's worth a look. It will give you some information and make you think about what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's not just a cautionary tale. It has some good suggestions and how-tos in it. Look, we're creating a destination network at Merritt Street Media, and we're thrilled you are here with us. We are going to embrace and present the core values that I believe in and that I think you will too. So tell everyone you know to watch Merritt Street Media, and also check out my new book. It is on the New York Times bestseller list, despite the fact that some people have described it as the most dangerous book in America right now. Why? Because I talk about facts, I talk about science, I talk about history, I talk about the truth. And that doesn't fit the narrative that some people are pushing right now, but I bet it fits in your eye and your ear. So I hope you'll pick it up and take a look at it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.